clicked on this video, I just want to say congratulations for taking the first step towards your goals for the new year. Whether you already know about vision boards or if you're just now figuring out the magic of the law of attraction, I am here hopefully to give you some direction in setting and achieving your goals this year. I'm going to be talking about how I was able to achieve some of the things that I put on my vision board and what I've learned about creating a vision board that actually works. It might seem a little bit silly to print out photos and put cheesy little mantras on a board, but trust me when I tell you, it could definitely change your life. Hello guys, my name is Nena, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. On my channel, I'm usually talking about Taylor Swift, playing guitar, or making coffee, and honestly just whatever else I decide to post. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different that I am equally passionate about, and that is setting goals, the law of attraction, manifesting, and creating a vision board that is actually going to help you find success. Let's talk about my credentials here. So I've been doing vision boards since I started my YouTube channel in 2020 is kind of when I first found out about them. As a visual person, this changed my life and how I go about setting my goals, because for me, I need to have something right in front of me and I need to be reminded constantly of what I'm working towards. And so when I figured out this is what a lot of people are doing now, I got really into it. I truly think it's the reason that I was able to be successful on YouTube. So let's talk about it. New Year's is one of my favorite times of the year because I love new beginnings, I love fresh starts, I love an excuse to kind of reflect and think about what I want to do next. And it's so funny because it's such an arbitrary thing because you can start a new goal whenever, but I feel like a lot of us need a hard start date where it's like, okay, from this day forward I'm going to be working towards this goal. So I feel like New Year's is a good time to kind of move forward into the new year, and it gives you that motivation to start. It gives you the opportunity to reflect on your previous year, things that you have accomplished in the last year, and also the opportunities that you can create for yourself in the new year. So these are some photos that I put on my vision board in 2021, and I just wanted to go through and show you guys some of the ones that I accomplished and kind of that came true for me. The first one I have here is a picture of a girl hiking in Glacier, and I took a trip to Glacier this year and I was able to go exactly to where this was and hike that trail, and so that was really awesome because I've had that on my vision board for a few years now. I had 50k subscribers on here and I was able to hit that in 2022. And then of course I had the silver play button, which was a goal that this has been on my board since 2020, and it took me three and a half years to achieve it, but I finally did last year. And so some of these have been on my board for a couple years, and so when you're thinking about your vision board, it doesn't always have to seem so overwhelming, like I have to accomplish all of this within 1 year. It can be goals that you really want to strive for and that you want to work for. Maybe it's going to take more than 1 year to get there. I have this little coffee corner, and now we have our little ideal coffee corner. I have this picture of the John Muir trailhead, and I've always wanted to hike the entire John Muir trail, but I knew that that was going to take a while to get there because it is a very long trail. A couple years ago I went on a backpacking trip and I didn't even realize that we were hiking a section of the John Muir trail, so that's kind of how that one manifested, and I was able to take a picture in front of the trail sign, which was really awesome. I have this picture of Greece, and I was able to visit this place exactly and take this beautiful picture of this exact place. Of course, we'll get to later how we can take steps and actions towards these goals to make them kind of happen, because just because you put something on your board doesn't mean it's just going to poof magic, it's going to happen. But seeing something every day gives you something to work towards and remembering that this is what you want. And then I have an Eiffel Tower with two best friends, and this year me and my best friend got to go to Paris together. And then I have these two little phrases. This one is, I now do work I love and I am well paid for it. I had that on my board for a few years while I was building up my YouTube channel and really trying to make it a full-time job. And then I have this one that says, be proud of how hard you are working. So these are things that have carried me through the past couple years. I can truly tell you how much they have worked for me and pushed me to accomplish my goals that I have set. So now, getting into where to start, how to set goals, and how to brainstorm and come up with goals that are attainable but also ones that are not limiting to you. And I feel like this is kind of the hardest part because sometimes sometimes people just don't know where to start. It's very overwhelming to think about what you think is realistic and some that are more like future dreams that you want to accomplish. So the first things first, you just gotta sit down and kind of reflect on where you are in your life and envision yourself where you want to be in the next couple years. I feel like defining your goals is one of the most important things because if they're too vague, it's kind of hard to know what steps to take towards it. But I have a few ways to guide you in the right direction. A couple weeks ago, me and my sister and a couple of our friends kind of sat down and had a goal meeting together because sometimes I feel like it is helpful to bounce ideas off of other people. So you can do this in a group setting, or if you just prefer to do it by yourself, that's good too. But this is kind of how we structured our little goal meeting. So first, each of us came up with 2 to 3 aspirations for the year. 2 to 3 like really main big goals that we wanted to accomplish. For example, my sister and a couple of my friends really want to secure a new job. That is something that is completely possible to do. It's something you're definitely gonna have to work for, but something that you can measure your progress on and set out concrete steps to take towards it. Kind of how you can word it is, I would like a new job that has a good work-life balance and company culture. And so in that way, you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for like a very specific lifestyle that is revolving around your work and kind of how you feel about it. Or maybe you want to get a job in a specific field. And so kind of be as detailed as you can about it. So you start with the broader thing, get a new job, and then once you have that aspiration, you can kind of break down a more detailed version of that goal. And so for me, one of my aspirations this year is to kind of get my sparkle back. And what I mean by that is to find joy in creating again, because I felt like I've been a little bit burnt out creating content and creatively just been very complacent in the last year. So I kind of want to break out of that. So once you have your 2 to 3 aspirations, then what we did was we went through and decided what was our ins for the year and what is our outs for the year. And these are kind of things that revolve around lifestyle or just kind of how you want to live your life for the year. So whatever is your in for the year, these are things you want to bring into the new year, things that are going to create positive change for you. And then the things that are out are the things you want to leave behind in the previous year, and I'll give you some examples of both of them. So for me, a couple of my ins are reading more books and also learning how to cook. So those are things I'm taking into the new year. And then for my outs, staying inside all day is out. Staying up all night doing work is out. These are things that we do not want to do anymore. So, and that kind of correlates to the things that you want to bring into the new year, because spending more time outside is an in for me. Getting better sleep is in for me. Like, you're really thinking about your priorities for the year. So in creating this list, your smaller goals are starting to take place and you're starting to think about what photos that you're going to want on your board. So let's say some of your ins are self-care, getting more sleep, cooking. This all falls under the umbrella of improving your personal wellness. And so that's a really good goal to have. If your ins are learning an instrument or learning how to crochet, then your goal might be to tap into your creativity a little bit more. So as you can see, like, you go through your list and you're noticing patterns and you can create your goals from there. So once you have these lists of ins and outs, what I like to do is organize my goals into 4 different categories. Now, you can do whatever you think is going to work best for you, but I'm just going to give you guys an example of what I do and that works good for me. But don't feel like you need to do this at all. I just think it's sometimes helpful to organize your goals for the different parts of your life. And so the first one that I have is business/career goals. So anything that falls under business, career, finance, future goals in that area goes under this one. And then the next one I have is personal goals. So anything that has to do with your personal well-being, hobbies that you want to try out, lifestyle changes that you want to make, anything like that goes there. And then I have one that I call explore. So this is kind of like my travel goals, but it could also be goals for experiences that you want to have this year. Maybe you want to go to a concert. Maybe you want to do a triathlon. Like, this goes under the experience umbrella. So for me, that happens to be a lot of places that I want to go, destinations, just adventures that I want to take within the year. And then lastly, I have future long-term dreams. So this includes maybe the house that you want to build one day, the place you want to end up living, just kind of anything that you see happening for you in the long-term future. And this is where you get to dream a little bit, because on my previous vision boards, I have put beach houses, my dream car that I want to have. I wrote a check to myself myself for a lot of money. So it's just kind of something that's going to allow you to reach for the stars. And these are goals that are not necessarily going to get accomplished in 1 year, but maybe in the next 3, 4, 5, even 10 years. So you always want to have both short-term and long-term goals just to remind you what you're working towards. So that is it for our goals section. So up next, we're going to be finding photos for our boards. And there's a couple ways you can go about this. My favorite way to find pictures for my vision board is to go on Pinterest. I'm sure you guys know that that's probably one of the most popular places to find aesthetic photos. It just has like the biggest collection repertoire of pictures that you can imagine. So that's my go-to spot for creative projects because the photos are just so organic and they're just very high quality, very aesthetic, and it's just my favorite thing to do. So if you don't have a Pinterest account, you can create one for free. And what I like to do to get the ball rolling is to just create a virtual vision board on Pinterest. So I create a board and I start pinning pictures that I would like to put on my physical vision board onto my Pinterest vision board. And it's so easy to search for things on there. They have everything you can imagine. So let's say for my goal to learn how to cook, I type in cooking aesthetic. I always add the word aesthetic to the end of the phrase because I'm looking for photos that I can imagine myself cooking in and not just recipes or like blog posts. I'm looking for pictures of people cooking, of meals, stuff like that. So if you add aesthetic, you're gonna kind of get the photos that you want. Another thing to consider when choosing your photos is that if they have people in them or not. Some people might not like having random strangers on their vision board, but for me, I really like having people in the photos so that I can envision myself in that better, if that makes sense. I have this picture of a girl cooking in the kitchen. It kind of helps me envision myself learning how to cook. And I have that same thing with a lot of my travel photos. I like to have pictures of people in them because I like to imagine myself in the places. It's kind of all a part of the manifesting process, being able to visualize yourself achieving the goal or being in the place that you want to be. So another place that I like to get photos from is a website called Unsplash. And this website has thousands of stock photography photos. They're very much more manicured, I would say. I like it because you can download high quality stock photos for free. It does give you the name of the photographer if you want to give them credit if you're posting it anywhere, but I like to use this for a lot of my travel pictures because they just have such great photography of places that I want to go. I just usually, if I can't find something that I really want on Pinterest, I try it over there. So you can kind of go back and forth between the two websites, and I'm sure there's other websites that are similar that will give you high quality photos. They might not be for free, but these are the free options, Pinterest, and then this other one that I've been using for a while. Depending on the size of your vision board, you're going to need between like 20 to 40 photos depending on how big you want them or how big your board is. For me, I have a really big cork board that I use, so I'm doing more like 50 to 60 pictures, but if you're just going to go to Michael's and get like a regular size poster board, you probably will only need between 20 and 30 pictures. So now we're going to move on to phrases, mantras, and affirmations. And these are kind of like the words that you're going to be putting on your vision board. And I would argue they're just as important as the photos because repeating these phrases in your mind, or at least seeing them and reading them every day, can really help you manifest in the law of attraction and all of that. Let me define law of attraction for you because I feel like a lot of people don't know necessarily the full definition of it. The law of attraction is a philosophy that suggests that positive thoughts lead to positive outcomes. So it's kind of like good energy attracts good energy, which is why you were making the vision board in the first place. If you see pictures of your goals, you're going to achieve them eventually as long as you're putting in the work to get there because you're thinking about it more and you're just attracting that into your life. It's a little hippie woo-woo, but honestly, if it didn't work, I would not be here. So what I like to do is choose a couple words or a phrase to kind of be my main mantra throughout the year, something that's easy to remember and that will constantly remind you about what you're working towards. And so this year, my mantra for the year is think bigger, and it's short and sweet. This just kind of reminds me that there's no limit on the goals that I can achieve, and I feel like sometimes we're afraid to set goals because we're afraid we won't achieve them, but you're already kind of counting yourself out if you're setting goals that are not pushing you and not challenging you to work harder and harder. And so for me, think bigger reminds me I shouldn't be afraid to go after the things that I really truly want and that I can do them and I am going to be successful at it. it. So some that I've used in previous years are create happiness, embrace change, and last year was believe and achieve. If you can believe it, then you can achieve it. And this year is kind of that in a different font. Basically, this mantra is just one that you can just remind yourself, and it's short and kind of encapsulates what your main goals are. So once you have that, that's going to kind of be the center of your vision board. So usually I put my phrase in the middle of my vision board, center stage, just so it's right there in front of me. From there, you can find different words and phrases on Pinterest. They have a lot of inspiration on there. If you just type in vision board inspiration or vision board affirmations, and a ton of them will come up. And you can also make your own based on those if they inspire you to create other ones. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple affirmations I will have on my board this year. Happiness is my priority. My opportunities are endless. The best is yet to come. I am investing in my future. So these are all things you're going to continue to say to yourself and remind yourself. So some of these pertain to my personal goals and some of them pertain to my business goals, so you can have a mix of all of them. The more you see them every day, the more you read them, the closer you're going to take those steps to making it a reality. You are kind of stating goals as if they've already come true, and that kind of helps you envision what it would be like if that statement were true in the moment. So like I was saying earlier, one of my favorite phrases I ever had on my board was, I now do work that I love and I'm well paid for it. And that is something that I thought was impossible starting out because I was literally just making pennies, like not a sustainable income on YouTube at all the first couple years. And I had that on my board and I just kept willing it to come true, and I kept working really, really hard, and I was able to make it a reality. So don't be afraid to put things on there that you think are impossible, because it might just be possible. This is also very important in building your confidence and kind of defeating that whole imposter syndrome. You're kind of betting on yourself and you're believing in yourself that you can do it even if nobody else thinks you can do it. I think that is very powerful in confidence building, and you need that to follow through with everything. Okay, so now actually to building the board. There's a couple different ways you can do this. So the first way is that you can make it digitally. You can make a desktop wallpaper to put on your computer, and that can be your vision board, because if you work on your computer every day, you're gonna see it every day. Or if you're just more into graphic design, or if you're not super crafty and you don't really like to cut pictures out and make like a collage, then you can do it digitally, and it's super easy. You can make it on Photoshop, you can do it on Canva. Canva is my favorite website literally ever. I use it every single day, and it's super user friendly, and I will say it's probably going to be the easiest way for you to make your vision board online. It has so many amazing creative tools, and you can just put all your pictures and all of your phrases on there. I will link Canva down below if you guys want to check it out. There is a free and a paid version. If you want to create a physical board, you could also print out your digital vision board and hang it up somewhere. You can go somewhere and print a poster of it, so that way you won't have to cut out and glue everything together. You just print it out and you have it on your computer, and you can hang it up if you would like to. But if you do want to be crafty and create a board, you can just go to Michael's or whatever craft store is near you and get a board however big you want it. You can print out all of your pictures, cut them out, and just kind of make a collage. Glue stick. Honestly, it's just very therapeutic. Throw your favorite show on, glue your vision board all together. It's very much like a self-care night. You can do a face mask, throw in the heatless curls, make a vision board. You could do it with your friends, make it a fun activity. And then the last way is that you can have a cork board, which is what me and my sister have. I've had my cork board since I was a kid, so that's just what I use, and every single year I can rotate the photos or move them around with the push pins. I can add new photos, so I kind of like that aspect of having a cork board. My sister got her cork board off of Amazon last year, and it's slightly smaller, but she keeps it above her desk where she works, so that's a good place to have it. So I will say keep your vision board somewhere you're gonna see it every single day. So maybe if you're in your room, you can put it on the back of your door, so every time you walk out your room you'll see it, or on the wall of your office where you work, or just somewhere that you're gonna see it every single day, so that your goals are always fresh in your mind. There's no right or wrong way to decorate your vision board. Obviously you can choose your own adventure, and that's what I love about it so much. But if you want to add more organization to your board like I do, I like to kind of organize it into 4 corners using my 4 categories that I mentioned earlier. So on the top left I have my future dreams and goals in that corner, and below it I have my explore, adventure, travel section, and then on the right top corner I have my personal goals, and on the bottom I have my business goals, and they all just kind of bleed into into each other, but I feel like it's helpful to see specific goals all grouped together in different places so that you're not kind of all over the place, but completely up to you guys what you guys want to do there. I have a stack of pictures that I printed out for my board for this year. I'm halfway done. Then I noticed that I needed more pictures to fill it out, so I'm going to be doing that. But if you guys want a more in-depth description of what is going on my board this year, I will also be posting a video deep diving into the goals that I'm setting, all the goals that I was able to achieve with my vision board in the past couple years. Yeah, just more detail about what I do. But these are some examples of pictures. I've got a girl on a cruise. I've got an ideal workstation. I have this really cute bathroom decorated how I would love my future bathroom to look like in my future hypothetical home. I have this picture of someone driving the coast of San Diego because I want to move to San Diego eventually in my life. I have this girl with a photography camera because I want to upgrade my camera equipment this year. So those are just some ideas. If you guys want more ideas, like I said, I'll be going over everything that I'm putting on my vision board in my next video. But if you have any questions, comment them down below. I would love to hear some of the things you guys are manifesting for 2025. Let's all give each other some ideas in the comments because I feel like it's helpful to hear other people's goals and we can all, like, you know, steal ideas from each other, and it's just so lovely and we're all gonna be so successful this year. I'm wishing you guys all the best on your vision board endeavors. If you do end up making a vision board and posting it on Instagram, please tag me. I want to see all of your vision boards because there's nothing I love more than seeing what other goals people are setting and accomplishing. It's so much fun to see everybody growing and just achieving all of our dreams. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.